The egg prices are down 87%. But nobody talks about that. You can have all the eggs you want. We have too many eggs. In fact, if anything, the prices are getting too low. So I just want to let you know.
I got penis envy. What? I meant to say I'm green with envy. Fuck! I mean I got green in Bentleys. Life just seems so empty. What's the meaning, if any? I've been dreaming of plenty. That's why I'm feeling this empty. What's the reason they sent me? I conquer demons at jet speed. But what if one seems to accept me? The behemoth in trees about to get freed. So pledge allegiance to me or me, Jesus, I'm deadly. Turn the world into a terrible space. Everything's about to get raised like a tariff's in place. I'm embarrassed to say I feel such unbearable hate. Barely can fake a smile, I just carry this rage. Don't get carried away or you'll get buried today. I wanna see you go limp like Nancy Kerrigan's leg. The perfect combination when pairing with eggs. So put your fucking hands up like how a theremin's played. I snort mace midget on my back like a horse race. This snare smacking like a gavel at a court case. When I hear your tracks, I got the bored face. It lacks flavor, you could say you've got poor taste. What's your fate? Check through the text, see what the lore states. It demands more faith. For Lord's sake, I go hard and those bars keep coming at you like multiple porn takes. So watch me put my cock in your box like cornflakes. These lyrics cutting sharper than a sword's blade. I keep severed heads in the basement. Use this beat's percussion as my echolocation. Stand up, this a special occasion. We're dropping big shit like an elephant's anus. You love me for my elegant phrases. Send a text, leave you unread. Exodus pages, I'm Bilbo Baggins. Ring on, now get the dildo shagging. Shit's about to get dark like Frank Grillo's acting.
There you are, you son of a bitch.
Feel the spinal tap. Now put your hands together like Final Flash. This is viral rap. Stacking bodies into crates like a vinyl stash. Punk ass, lay you on your back like a trust catch. You're a bitch, fun fact. This Helm's Deep, Nightmare on Elm Street. You beating me is the day hell freeze, God mode. It's not unusual, Tom Jones can't hide. I can find a pussy like your mom's rose. Hope you METHOD, no Narcan. You'll get X like Darkman. Toss you in the jungle like Tarzan. I punch lines, turn you to sand when the bars land. This'll make you hit the old man arm dance. Slipped up and wrote some dumb shit like Roseanne Barr's hands. We nastier than head lices. Pull your trump card and say I'll drop you like the egg prices.
Totally drop. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing.
Egg on the beat.
You know what that is?
Get your fucking wallets out, get your Apple Pay. Yeah, you're about to spend an arm and a leg on this shit. Trees. Light it up, get fucked, we in this, get lit. Yeah, fuck that, ain't no chorus on this motherfucker, we just spit verses, hard bars, lyrics for days. Let it ride out.
Time when I was out my mind, a cognitive grind that had to unwind, that left my third eye blind. A nervous system shivers up my spine, I didn't know where to go, so I tried to bear the weight, but holding on started forming a fate. I couldn't keep it up, I had to seek some help, would never have made it alone all by myself, because I was seeing things that weren't even there. Devils in the eyes of the people who bear them to me. And it's not fair that I ended up there on the edge of the bed in hospital where they put me on meds for the rest of my life. Now it feels like I'm balanced on the edge of a knife, but I'm playing my cards as best as I can, recovering from trauma that could end a man. Been to the edge and back, I know for a fact that hell is colder than we think, and echoes scream back to back as our souls eternally sink into a decay of suffering we cannot hold. The time's been sold, so it's time to get bold with the rhythm's hell that we created by having our dreams by me. It takes time to heal, time to feel again, adjusting to a mind that can see the real again, making better choices and creating a pattern, doing all the things that really matter. Cause when life gets tough, you've got to be tougher, stay ahead of the curve and expect it to get rougher. Cause if it gets on top and you need to stop, ask for help and find someone to talk to. We can't manage this life all on our own, gotta help each other out to roll the stone. And if you're on your own and feel no one is with you, there's a million others on this boat with you. Into the edge and back, I know for a fact that hell is colder than we think, and echoes scream back to back as our souls eternally sink into a decay of suffering we cannot hold. The time's been sold, so it's time to get bold with the rhythm's hell that we created by having our dreams by me. Into the edge and back, I know for a fact that hell is colder than we think, and echoes scream back to back as our souls eternally sink into a decay of suffering we cannot hold. The time's been sold, so it's time to get bold with the rhythm's hell that we created by having our dreams by me. as I sit here, thinking of all the shit that's on my mind that I need to spit. I've been bitten twice, so I'm getting shy, stuck in my mind here, getting high. Brought up about the past, but it had to be that way. Living life so fast in the overtaken lane. Didn't think that I'd ever make it through the storm, but what I've come to learn is life goes on. You gotta keep taking the good with the bad and break away from the cycle before it drives you mad. It's easy to get caught up in a loop when there's people all around you trying to stoop you down to a lower level, closer to the devil. Make up a load of shit and cause a heap of trouble, but fuck 'em. You only need yourself, you gotta trust yourself more than anyone else. In this life we live, we gotta try to forgive ourselves for our mistakes. We were only kids. I've come to see who I can be when the toxicity takes over me. It's not a pretty picture in a mirror reflection. I was just a shell with no direction, trying to survive the odds I was given. I was barely alive, you couldn't call it living. It wasn't easy for me to admit my wrongs, because I'd been wronged for so goddamn long. Bullied and abused is not what I would choose. I was so strong-minded, didn't think that I could lose, but they got the better eventually and turned my mind completely against me. I nearly lost the battle a couple of times, but the will to live became stronger with time. For our mistakes, we were only kids. I've come to see who I can be when the toxicity takes over me. It's not a pretty picture in a mirror reflection. I was just a shell with no direction, trying to survive the odds I was given. I was barely alive, you couldn't call it living.